Today's guitar lesson is on major six chords. Major six chords are major chords, major triads, a root, a major third, and a fifth, with the interval of a major sixth stacked on top. These are often confused with 13 chords. 13 chords are dominant chords, dominant seven chords, a root, a major third, a fifth, and a minor seventh, with a 13, the octave of our major sixth, stacked on top. So they're different chords. Major six chords are simpler. They're really great for tons of different applications, from traditional country music to jazz. Let's start with looking at an inversion of a major six chord that's really common, particularly in country music. We're gonna play an A major chord in E form. So we're gonna take that E chord, an E bar chord here up at our 5th fret. We're gonna leave out our low E and our A string to just play these top 4 strings. If I wanna turn this into a major six chord, a really common way of doing this is just, in this case, taking my pinky and I'm gonna put it on the 7th fret of my B string. I'm gonna put in that major six. So that's a really common inversion. I feel like that's usually the first form of a major six chord that people mess around with, right? Oftentimes you'll take that major chord and you'll put those suspensions in there, and that's a really common way of doing that, to go from, people kind of just stumble into that chord voicing, but it's a really nice one, and there's all kinds of cool stuff that you can do with that. Today I want to look at 2 different inversions, one with the root on our E string and one with the root on our A string, okay? So this first one here is going to sound like this. In this case, I'm using my 2nd finger on the 5th fret of my low E string. Well, I'll play this at A as well, just to keep it consistent. So I'm going to play that note A right here. Then I'm going to take my 1st finger, I'm going to skip my A string, and I'm going to put it on the note F sharp, the 4th fret of my D string. Then I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to put that pinky on the 6th fret of my G string. Then I'm going to take my ring finger, my 3rd finger, and I'm going to put that on the 5th fret of my B string. That's a really nice inversion of a major six chord. In this case, we've got root, major six, 3rd, 5th. Another one that's great is to play the root on our A string. So we'll stay in the same fret here, but now we're going to be playing a D6 chord because our root's going to be here, the 5th fret of our A string. And this is going to look like this. In this case, I've got root, 5th, major 6, major 3rd. So I've got my 2nd finger on the 5th fret of my A string, that's my root obviously. Then I'm using my ring finger, my 3rd finger, on the 7th fret of my D string, that's going to be my 5th. I've got my 1st finger on the 4th fret of my G, that's my major 6, and I've got my pinky on the 3rd, which is the 7th fret of the B string. So that's a really nice inversion of this chord too. The application of this chord in jazz is quite simple. We just substitute major 7 chords for major 6 chords a lot. There's all kinds of things you can do with these chords, but in a jazz context, that's really what we're going to see a lot of. Anytime you see a major 7 chord, you can substitute a major 6 chord. It just has sort of a softer sound. In comparison, this is a major 7 chord, and this is that inversion of a major 7 that we just, or a 6 that we just played, excuse me. Major 7, major 6. So you can hear the difference right there. It really just depends, like everything in music, what the melody is and what we think is going to best pair with that melody. Another interesting thing to talk about with our 6 chords is the relationship to our relative minor. So in this case, the notes in that major 7, or that major 6 chord that we just played, those notes are A is our root, because we're going to play an A major 6 chord. C sharp is our major third, E is our fifth, and then our major six is F sharp. If we look at the notes that are in our relative minor in contrast to that, so in this case that would be F sharp minor or F sharp minor 7. The notes in an F sharp minor 7 chord are F sharp is our root, A is our minor third, C sharp is our fifth, and E is our minor 7. Those are the exact same notes that are in A major 6. What that means for us is any inversion that we know of an F sharp minor 7 chord, we can play, and that is the exact same chord as A major 6. So that really helps open the fretboard up for us and allows us to do all kinds of things. So let's say I know this version of F sharp minor 7 up here. That's also A major 6. So to recap, major 6 chords are major triads, major chords, a root, a major third, and a fifth, with a major 6 stacked on top. They're really, really fun. I would say practice maybe some real book songs, swapping out what you see as major 7 chords for major 6 chords, and see how it sounds with the melody. That's going to dictate a lot for us, and it's just, as with all this stuff, more tools in our tool belt. So when we want that, what I perceive as softer sound for the harmony, you have something to go to there. Major 7 chords are great. Major 6 chords are also great. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this. DM me for lessons and keep an eye out for more lessons like this in the future. Thanks.